Rob, what is our third main topic today?
Well, it comes to us from Kyle Knight. Good morning, John and co-host. Well, good morning. Aside from Spider-Man, Dune is my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year, and I'm hoping it does really well at the box office. Did you see that Warner Brothers just moved up the release of Dune on HBO Max by 1 day so that it'll officially be out on streaming before it's in theaters? Is there any other way to interpret this other than, once again, WB trying to sabotage the film's box office success? Thanks. Well, first of all, Kyle, I have to say, Warner Brothers does not want to sabotage the box office success. Unfortunately, they were already all in on this strategy of day and date releases in 2021, and they have to stick with that because that's what their subscribers expected of them, which I understand. I think they really want this movie to do well. That's why they opened it in Europe a month before it opened here. I've seen the film. I was overwhelmed by it. Go see it in IMAX on the biggest screen possible. You won't be disappointed. But I honestly don't think they're trying to sabotage anything. What they want to do is create, as they always have wanted to, create excitement for HBO Max and another reason to sign up for the service. Joe Blow says, what's crazy about this decision is that the film will be able to be seen even earlier than early Thursday evening preview showings that most tentpole releases have been accustomed to. For me, it's a scratch my head moment as this opens up the film to potential piracy pretty early, but it could point to Warner Brothers truly banking on its HBO Max performance, which, by the way, they are. They have previously stated that if Dune does well on the platform, it can guarantee another installment, but this seems to undercut how well exclusive theatrical releases have been doing the last couple of months. Dune is truly meant for the theatrical experience, but it seems like Warner Brothers still wants to promote the streaming option. John, I agree with both of those things. Obviously, HBO Max, they're trying to do everything they can to get as many subscribers as they can. So, of course, they want to have excitement for the platform. But of all the movies that have come out this year, especially from Warner Brothers, which I think, as we both talked about, I think the day and date strategy has not worked for Warner Brothers as well as they would have hoped. They've undercut their theatrical performance, I think, by a great deal. Dune is really the kind of movie that people are all going to say, you've got to go to the theater. And you can't just go to any theater. You got to go to an IMAX theater. You got to go to a big theater, go to an AMC A-list, whatever you have to do, go to the best theater you can find. Because, John, I have to say, sitting in that movie theater, of all the movies I've seen in years, this movie is an experience. And the sound mix alone will transport you places you've never been to before. It's amazing. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. Look, as the article in Joe Blow said, we become accustomed to something that, whether it's been Universal on Peacock or whether it's been Warner Brothers or even when Disney has done it, when there's been a day and date release, it's always still been that the way you can see it the earliest is by going to the movie theater. For example, Halloween Kills is available on Peacock today. If you're the upper end tier subscriber to Peacock, you can see Halloween Kills on Peacock today. Not with the free service or the lower tier service, but for the higher paid service, you can watch it today. But you couldn't yesterday. But yesterday you could see it in the movie theaters. Same was true of Black Widow. Same was true of all the other HBO, the Warner Brothers and HBO releases, that if you want to see it first, you can still go to the movie theater. This, to me, while I understand from the beginning their plot has been to try to promote Warner Brothers, and it has not worked nearly as well as they hoped it would. This specific move to take Dune and say, yeah, you want to watch it first, you're going to have to watch it on HBO first. If you want to see it as soon as possible, and now we're talking about a matter of hours, not days, but if you want to see it as early as possible now, they made the specific undercutting move to take it and say, now watching it in the movie theater on Thursday ain't going to be your first best option. Now HBO is. They may not be, how did they put it in the email again? Let me just bring that up in the email again. It may not be Warner Brothers trying to sabotage the film's box office success. That might not be the most fair way of saying it. But I think it is fair, Rob, to say they're willing to sacrifice Warner Brothers' box office success in this year-long, failed, desperate attempt to make HBO Max on par with Disney Plus, which it has failed to do miserably. And I say that as somebody who really likes HBO Max. I was just watching HBO Max yesterday. I am a big fan of HBO Max. Make no mistake about it. I totally am. I love that service. I'm not so happy with them as soon as they canceled, Lovecraft Country, but, win a bunch of Emmys. Oh, congratulations. Let's cancel the show. Anyway, that's another thing for another time. So, Rob, while I will agree with you that this was not them, sabotaging this movie, I think it shows that they are willing to sacrifice this movie in order to continue pursuing that goal of trying to make HBO Max as relevant as possible. And if doing that means they got to sacrifice its box office stuff, they're willing to do that. And again, I think this speaks to the failed policy, a year-long failed policy on their point of doing this. And if nothing else, Rob, it almost seems like the desperate last gasps of a regime that knows that their time is up. Because we all know that probably by the end of March of 2022, there are going to be new owners. It's going to be Discovery. And I think there are a lot of people there right now who are desperately trying to say, look, we should keep our jobs, really. And I think this is a desperate last gasp at making themselves valuable to the company, wanting to hold their jobs. I mean, look, maybe that's me being overly pessimistic, Rob. I have been known to be that from time to time. But I don't know. This is kind of the way I see it. I think you're going to see the way WB does business change drastically, though, once the Discovery guys take over. So,
agreed.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about moving this thing 24 hours. And we're talking, like I said earlier, we're talking in matters of hours instead of days. But still, I think it's fairly symbolic and representative of the entire failed philosophy Warner Brothers has had regarding this for the last year. But that's just my take. I could be way off, and maybe you guys have a completely different take, which I respect. Whatever your guys' take is, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.